The two films I'll be analyzing is Monsieur Lazare and Patch Adams. Monsieur Lazare is a film we viewed in class, so I won't have to go into detail about the plot, but I will give a brief overview about Patch Adams, which is the movie that was filmed on UNC's campus pretending to be Virginia Medical University. Patch Adams is about a medical student that tries to test the medical system by treating his patients like humans, such as referring to them by their name instead of their bed number or disease, which is quite rare among practitioners. He questions the medical system, which goes against the dean of his school, who is also in charge of the hospital, and puts his chance of graduating at risk. This educational system also often comes with its flaws, and which contributes to reproducing inequality. An example would be some schools not being able to provide students with dependable resources, such as updated textbooks. One approach to addressing such issues in our system is incorporating humanistic qualities into our classroom learning environment. This approach is often referred to as the pro-social classroom mediational model. This humanistic approach is a teaching style which makes the material learned more personal and emotionally relative to the students, in hopes of better engaging them and improving their academic achievement. Educators cannot afford to ignore students' affective domain because people's emotions play a specific role in learning attitudes and behaviors. What often happens is that the emotional context of students is removed from the classroom. One of the beginning scenes in Patch Adams, you see Dean Walcott say that it is their mission to train the humanity out of their students, to make them into better doctors. Patch argues that this is the wrong approach since humans exist as a whole of both physical and emotional responses. Important scholars related to the field of education and research, such as Erikson, Roger, and Maslow, have also stressed the importance of taking into account an individual's thought, emotions, and feelings. Several professional organizations, such as the American Board of Internal Medicine, have repeatedly called for more emphasis on the humanistic dimensions of medical education. Unfortunately, the way the education system values grades, report cards, and end-of-year tests makes transitioning to this approach difficult. The hundreds of years of the educational system being the same would take great effort to reform. Both these films display both the benefits and pushbacks from both Bashir and Patch's motions to approach this style of teaching and learning. Two common themes in the movie is death and despair, in which we see both in Patch Adams from the death of someone close to him, as well as the whole plot of Monsieur Lazare focuses on the death of a beloved teacher and his family. They both push open communication about these topics within places that often push the mention of death and despair out of its environment, such as a classroom or a hospital. In this push for open communication, both individuals face backlash from higher administration. In Monsieur Lazare, the principal refers to grades going good as a means of measuring how well her students are healing, demonstrating the centuries of practice in schools of narrowing a student down to their academic numbers to measure their performance. Patch is threatened to be kicked out of the school and told to vacate the premises because he keeps trying to go against the dean and treat his patients with a sense of humanity. This completely disregards the type of practice that medical doctors have engaged in for centuries, questioning the whole foundation of medical institutions, which presents an issue for Dean Walcott. Bashir gets accused of reopening a grave and having complete disregard for Martine, when really what he is doing is helping his students facilitate a thoughtful conversation in which they are able to freely express their emotions, overall helping them in a way in which will also benefit their academics, as with Patch, his work was helping to heal and treat his patients. Despite the good Bashir does to try and help his students mourn the death of their beloved teacher, he is still criticized by the principal, his co-workers, and parents. He is also thanked and acknowledged by Alice's mom for the work he has done for his students and the benefits she has seen through his approach to teaching. Her daughter was able to benefit by healing emotionally and succeeding academically. Patch faced criticism from the dean of his college as well as his fellow peers, all while challenging a system that has been set in place and not changed for centuries, despite its benefits when practiced. After successfully graduating despite his backlash, he was able to treat 15,000 people. This was all due to one person fighting for a change. In both these films, we see two male individuals, one in a middle school classroom setting and the other in a medical institute, lead to make an impact on the individuals in their lives, going against the codes and standards in place. We see these individuals in the film with physical, social, psychological, and emotional needs being met and succeeding. These films display the pro-social mediational model and its positive effects it can have when implemented properly. This is an approach to learning which can benefit everyone and is demonstrated in media, yet not demonstrated in enough of our classroom and learning environments. As we advance, we can hope to see this approach more in education.